Hidalgo show. This is your host Rick Dehijo Benya, and this is the 13th day of August 2018. It's time 18 and it's time for another show. This is episode 8, and this episode is going to be called Authentication. We're going to go specifically through the process of authentication and explain to you why it's necessary. There's going to be a lot of questions on this, and I'm going to go ahead and tackle it right now. But before I get there, there's a couple things I want to say. Number one, thank you to my patrons. You guys are what keep me going. If it wasn't for my patrons, I'd probably lose hope and just, do something else. But you guys keep me going. My group on Facebook, Sovereign Love Free Church, you guys keep me going too, and I thank you for all the relationships that I have with each and every one of you are so very important. I do have a major announcement. That major announcement is that I am starting a blog, but this is going to be a private membership only blog, and it's meant to be very specific about the things that I'm advocating that everyone do as part of the ways of the Lord. And because of the specificity of it, I think it's very important that it's done in a private setting in such a way that it's password protected, and everyone has to sign up. There is a free membership, but for the real good stuff, there is a small monthly consideration. So but that's not being done to make a living, although yes, it'd be great to be able to do what I feel the Lord has called me to do on a full-ish time basis. But you know what, it's all in God's timing. I don't worry about all that kind of stuff. But I did want to make that announcement. And then secondly, we're going to cut here to the screen in just a minute so that I can show you what it looks like on my website. My website has most all the information about authentication, but there's no description. So I'm going to describe it for you on the video while we look at it. So without any further ado, let's go on and go look at the screen. It's all about the blood. Yep, that's the slogan in the ministry I operate and with the products that I buy. Hi, I'm Rick Dehijo Benya, and I'm the host of the House of Hidalgo show on YouTube. If you're looking to promote your health with CBD oils, you're looking at a booking. Book greenflowerbotanicals.com for your health needs, and use the link provided in the comments section of this video, because doing so will help you cleanse your blood and promote the blood of Jesus to the world. Just join our Healthy for the Blood campaign by ordering through the link below, and a percentage of the sale will benefit my ministry. It's all about the blood. Okay, we're back. This is the screenshot. And by the way, I wanted to mention, I kind of forgot to say this, but there is no additional cost to patrons. Patrons who are signed up under Patreon are automatically included in the blog. I call it the EduBite Premium content. So you guys are going to be receiving a username and password in the mail very soon with your free gift that I'm sending you. It's simple, but it's the thought that counts, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. What you're looking at is my website. This is the Rock of Salem the Rock of Salem.org, so .org, and this is my private official site for the tribal government of my house. And as you can see, we're a self-governing house of natural-born Americans who handle our affairs in a way pleasing to Yahuwah, our sovereign, Yahuwah HaMashiach. So I've got some tabs over here. These links, this will bring you back to the home page. This over here is a sister house. I'll take you there real quick. All right, there's a sister house. These are friends of ours who have officially started their tribal government, and because of that, we made a treaty together, and I put their information up on the internet for noticing purposes. And then I have an About Us section. The About Us tells a little bit of the story of how I went from being my surname being Hidalgo to my tribal name being Dehijo. It tells that story right here, so you can look at that if you want to. Then I have an Acts and Resolution section, and these are some of the acts. I haven't really been keeping up with them very well. I've got more acts that I haven't put up here. But I mean, this was generally put up there for noticing purposes anyway. So, it doesn't really, it's not important that I put all my acts up here because I'm a private house. But there's some of them. Okay, here, if you click on Church Declaration Template down at the bottom here, I believe it's going to take you, oh, nope, it's taking you a 404 error page. Okay, that's because I took it down. And I'll work on getting that back up. But that's going to be your template for creating your own tribal governance. Okay, then if you mouse over the acts and resolutions, there's a Hall of Records over here. That's where we're actually going to be. So this Hall of Records, you can see that I've got a bunch of counter deeds listed. Under the counter deed section, there's the patters, the matter, councilmen, and all of my seed, and an heiress. All these different capacities are listed underneath the counter deeds. And if you click into the counter deed, let's just look at mine. This is what an authentication looks like. Now, this is the first page that's going to be on top of your authentication. As you can see, it was recorded in my house on the 8th day of February 2017. We keep all the records here at home. I have a record keeper. I have a secretary who does that. And there's the file number. And here's the counter deed. And the counter deed basically just instructs them of what this whole thing is doing. I would urge you to go look up the definition. For counter deed, if you Google it, it comes right up. It's from the second edition of Black's Law, and it is a super powerful definition. I think you'll start to understand the importance of it by reading the definition. Second page is the declaration by affidavit of ownership. We are taking ownership of this entity that was created at our birth, the all caps name, the all caps capacity, the U.S. individual. Okay? We're going to take ownership of them. Here is that information here. All right. Now, I also included a page called Affidavit of True and Correct Copy because I had a notary actually testify and certify that the following documents are a true and correct copy. So here they are. This is the Department of State document that you'll get back at the very end. This is when you send it to the feds, to Sterling, Virginia. They'll send you back a document that's sealed. That's their seal on the left bottom there. I took a little bit of carbon paper and kind of rubbed it on there so you could sort of see it. And then, they got a little write-up here. John Kerry signed this one because I did mine while he was the Department of State figurehead back on the 4th day of September 2015. So, and then there's some laws here in the corner that this whole thing is pursuant to. These are very important. Now, you're not really able to read them on mine because mine's kind of faded. But I'll show you another one. Here's the back of it. You can see the seal a lot better. Sorry, that was my text. I didn't turn it down here. Okay, I got rid of that sound. So there's the back of the seal. It's a beautiful seal. Then there's the this is the California Secretary of State that stapled their copy of authentication over the top of my. Here's the back of it. As you can see, it's a seal because it comes out through the back too. Over the top of my birth certificate. This is what I started with. You start with a birth certificate. This is my birth certificate. And then you send it to the state you were born in, which is, in my case, state of California. And I had it authenticated for Taiwan because that is a non-Hague country. That's important because if you don't pick a non-Hague country, then they'll do something called apostille. And you don't want an apostille. You want authentication. So that's what I did. And then they sent back this letter here on top of my certificate of live birth. Then I sent it to the feds, and they sent me theirs, which is this one. Okay. Now, let's get into something here. I'm going to show you like my daughter's counter deed is a lot clearer when it gets here. Here we go. Here's those laws. I'm going to see if I can't make this bigger. It's PDF. I should be able to make it bigger. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to blow that up a little bit. So you should be able to see issued pursuant to, okay, state of September 15, 1789, 1 stat, 6869, 22 USC 2657, 22 USC 2651A, 5 USC 301, 28 USC 1733, 8 USC 1443F, and Rule 44 of Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Okay, these are very, very important. It's really important that you understand what this functions as. There are several statutes here that give evidence to the fact that now that you have authenticated this document, it can be used like an original. Now, the significance of that is, if you had your original certificate of live birth, or the actual title that they certificated, okay, you would be clearly the owner of that of that entity. It's just like if you go to buy a car and you complete a bill of sale and you're holding on to a bill of sale, that really is the title to the document, or to the car. Okay, it's the closest thing to a title to the MSO or MCO that you're going to get. But if you got a hold of an MSO, if you were going to go to a brand new go buy a vehicle brand new, and let's say you were going to buy it, directly from Ford, just off the top of my head, and you bought it directly from them without a bank, they would send you an MSO or an MCO, which is a manufacturer's certificate of origin or statement of origin. That is the closest thing to a birth certificate for a vehicle that you could possibly get. That is the title. But normally what happens is people don't have that kind of money, so they finance the vehicle, and the bank gets that manufacturer's certificate of origin or statement of origin. And essentially what happens is the state will keep it, and then they will send you a certificate of title, which reflects that the title does exist, but it is not the actual title, and therefore it puts you in a place of subjugation to whom holds the title. So, that's the trick. That's what's been going on for a long time now, is we don't own our own statement of origin. And because we don't own our own statement of origin, how can we claim to be in charge of that statement, or of that entity? So we are reclaiming the entity by going through this process of authentication. And the reclamation in our case is not for it's not for governing it so much as it is for the right to park it and the right to later salvage it for whatever it's worth. So, and those are our rights. We are entitled to those things because it's ours, and that's what we have to point out. I want to show you one more thing too. The holder in due course. This is my daughter's certification of birth. Okay, the holder in due course is who? Who's named on the document? Who can be a holder in due course? The father, the mother by her maiden name, which is also a trick because that's a probation problem. A probate problem. It appears as if we're not married, doesn't it? Because her name is still maiden. And then here is my daughter's name. Of course, that's not her. That's the child's name, but her name is not you. A name is what you're called by, or a title. In this case, it's a fiction. So, who has the ability to hold this fiction? Who can be a holder in due course? Well, she can, my wife can, or I can. Okay? There's 3 people who have the possibility of being a holder in due course. So, keep that in mind as you go through those this set of laws down here at the bottom, because you're going to run into some language about holder in due course. So you need to know that too. All right, well, so that's that. Let me finish going through the website, and then we'll call it a day for this after I explain a little bit more about authentication. Now, there's also the tab instrumentalities. These are a list of the instrumentalities of the House of Hidalgo. These are all the different things that are registered under my house. They're not registered anywhere else, only under my house. And then if you mouse over instrumentalities, there's JignaChat has its own page. And that's because you can actually download from here the DignaChat package. Okay, as you can see, this package allows you to join as a member. Here's a second point. What does it cost to remain an active member of the body of DignaChat? $10 annually. For $10, you can be a member. A member brings you into a relationship with us where we can start to help you get things accomplished. So that's something for you to consider as well. So that's there for you to look at. Also, trade agreements. This is what I call them. I call them trade agreements. I have in my possession, in my house vault, a certified and authenticated 1849 ratified California Constitution. Okay, so that's the law form that I'm bringing forth, and then I have a certified by Library of Congress unanimous declaration of the 13 colonies, and that's a really cool document. It's 11 by 17, very cool. Also, I have a certified by the Library of Congress Constitution of the United States of America circa 1787 in the House Vault as well. So I have all the law forms. I know what the terms and conditions are for me to live by in America because I have them. And I'm going to live by those terms and conditions. I know what limited authorities that I've given up. I know what those are. And I don't mind that. That's fine. It's just all these other things that I haven't given up that I'm not willing to part with. Okay, members. If you click on members, oh boy. Oh, I see. It's wrong. It's the wrong link. I apologize for that. If you look up at the top here, you'll see it says therockofsalem.org /membership.html. That should not be there. It should be /membership. It's actually a folder, not a hypertext markup language file. So I apologize for that. I'll get that fixed ASAP so that you guys can check out the membership section. Actually, I'll type it in here in a minute. And then I've got contact section, so if you've got any comments or anything you want to make, you could always put it in the context area here, the comments, and you could send me a message through the website. And then I have some useful links. And these useful links, I've got fountain pens. These are the fountain pens that are good starter pens for people. I believe in fountain pens. They adhere to the paper. It's a quality ink that's used in fountain pens, and it adheres to organic paper much better than a ballpoint pen does. So I believe in them. Signet ring. I have a signet ring. And our signet ring was made by these folks at custommade.com. And then also I have a link here for 100% cotton paper. This is a place that makes 100% cotton paper, paperpapers.com. Okay, good paper. And then Zenzoy fountain pens. This is a cool place that makes some fountain pens that are pretty neat. So there you go. There's the Zenzoy fountain pens and cartridges for your fountain pens. Then I've got a bunch of YouTube videos. These are old. This is when I first started discussing the idea of building a house. Okay, so you can go through there if you want to and check it out. All right, and that's all I got on there right now. So you've pretty much had a tour of my website. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type in up here membership, and you'll see when it comes up Here we go. This is the Edubytes Premium. Okay. Edubytes Premium. Just another WordPress site. And I've already got one post on there. And it's only for members with exclusive permission to see it, so I'm not going to go down any further. But you see, it does exist. It's here. It's kind of a beautiful picture. I like this. And we're going to try to post as often as possible on there about all kinds of different issues. And I hope that my members enjoy it. But I just wanted to show you that. I do want to say this. I'm not one that likes to, ask for money. But I want to say this. If you're contemplating being a member and you're wondering what it's going to go to, okay, it's going directly to my ministry. As you know, because this is the House of Hidalgo show, the God and Wrestling Connection, I have a wrestling ministry, and that wrestling ministry needs some equipment. We want to get some video equipment so we can do live streaming of our shows, so we can impact more people around the globe than just a handful of people in Lesterville, South Dakota. So that's a very important part of our process. So we need some pretty sophisticated equipment. It's going to be somewhere in about $3,000 area as far as our budget goes for that. There's going to be more accessories that aren't included in that $3,000, that $3,000. But $3,000 is what our initial goal is for phase one. We also want to get a circus tent. Those are the size we're looking for is 40 by 40 or above. That's a pretty big tent, and they start to get into the 5,500 to 6,000 range. So 5,500 to 6,000, somewhere in there is what we're looking for a tent. So as you can see, I mean, we've got some things that we definitely are shooting for, and I do believe that, you know, God's going to give us the increase on those things, and I don't depend on any one of you to do that. So I never want you to feel that way. I hate to be begged, so I don't like to beg, and so don't take it as a beg, please. I just want to let you know what it's going towards, because that's an important part of understanding what you're supporting when you're supporting a show. It's not going to my pocket. It's not going to any kind of a liberal organization. It's going to somebody who's going to demonstrate the love of Christ to the world through a very unique medium, professional wrestling. So with that said, I think that's pretty much all I have for that. I don't have much else to say about authentication other than to say that it is the first step. It does eventually filter into your public record that you're authenticated, and they do begin to treat you a little bit differently. But that goes away quickly if you start to act, antithetical. So you want to be careful about how you act and the things that you do. So it's kind of self-explanatory, but we're fixing your status. The first step is authentication. I hope you all get it done. Send me comments, send me emails, send me whatever. Let me know if you need any more help. Let me know also if you've gotten authenticated, because that's a big piece of it too. I don't know how much longer to talk about these kind of things. Are you guys actually doing this? Are you not? Communicate with me. Let me know. With that said, I think that's all I got. God bless you guys. And we'll see you next week on the House of Hidalgo show, where the blood will never lose its power.